back to the COD Rec League. We're here with our final night of Chumps Week. Officially, we do have two matches coming your way tonight. We have the Bronze Premade South Finals coming your way, followed by the Silver West Finals later tonight. We are up and ready. I'm here with Gun Puppet once again, and I don't think I'm going to be abandoning the cast this time, but we do have, you know, the whole... I thought they fixed the glitch. Turns out they did not, so we're going to have to do some creative thinking with our brains. But Gun Puppet's on the desk with me tonight. I got to give him a chance to talk.
Hi, how's it going, everyone? Long time no see. Once again, closing out the season with this final match. And it's going to be Hacienda. Spoiler alert, we're going to be seeing Hacienda 3 times in a row. Very excited to see how this one goes. This is Dweebs for Chicago. What division is this again?
This is Bronze Premade South. So this was...
Okay,
so Bronze Premade
division
was in the extended playoffs. So this was, as you know, he just said, this was his division, and Silver had theirs delayed 1 week. So we do get 2 matches on the dock tonight. We're ready to go. Chicago's got a 13-point leader as we head into P2. So pretty lightly, you know, scored first hill. But we're getting ready right into P2, and it is just all Chicago right now on the map.
Yeah, it's all Chicago on the map. They've got a nice, comfortable lead for this point in the game. A little bit of a 30-point lead at this point. You see LA Dweebs, they're struggling to gain control. The path might be to go through that back and try to get back spawns, but number 3 in Camden goes down, and that was your best opportunity to do so. Now you have YouTube, maybe trying to get a pick from the front here. Slides over, encroaches on their territory a little bit more. Finally, you have number 2 in Kalido spawning in the back now, and then you could just combine with the spawns and the push from the front, and finally you'll take control of the hill. Maybe too little too late though. There's only 6 seconds left. You're essentially putting up all that effort for scrap time. You do have 2 players on the new hill though, but you have a pinch from Chicago developing. You have number 7 and Hella Smooth in that kind of top plat area, and then you have 3 Chicago players behind them. LA Dweebs are going to have to read this well if they want to hold on to the point. And as I say that, it looks like Chicago might come out victorious with this one. LA Dweebs on the back foot from pretty much point 1 on this map.
Yeah, no, I mean, they just haven't been able to get things going just yet here. But, you know, this team hasn't... I'm pretty sure they have not lost this season. They've won probably a combined total of, like, lost a total of 4 maps maybe over the course of the season. It might even be less than that. So definitely not going to count these out just yet. But Chicago looking really strong here in Elite Drew. You know, the captain coming through already 9-4 to start things off. A strong start out of their captain. Make it 10 as they're going to continue to climb up the board right now with these points. You can see the rotation is already underway as YouTube the Kid trying to hold down this flank, but there's already 2 players here from Chicago. Brendy is going to slide in, clean that one up, and this rotation already is just destroyed in seconds. LA Dweebs gonna have to be fighting from across map. I do believe this is a Chicago pick because I think LA Dweebs are hosting this map right now, but I mean right now it looks like Chicago knows exactly what they're doing through this first rotation.
Yeah, Chicago definitely looking confident indeed. LA Dweebs, again, it's kind of the same story, trying to break, and they eventually do get it a little bit swifter than their P2 attempt. Now Chicago going to figure out how to take control over this hill again. Looks like they're opting to send 2 players through the mid door, 2 players through the bush area, but Brendy goes down, Matty Ice goes down, Elite Drew goes down, Hella Smooth goes down. That's all 4 on the side of Chicago, spawning back in their spawn. There's a little bit of a pinch coming through here. If you could get number 8 and Brendy, you might be able to stop disaster from collapsing in on you, but looks like Chicago is able to leverage that pinch well, gets the point. Again, at this point, you're only kind of getting some scrap. Chicago is still maintaining a little bit of a comfortable lead. It's kind of been like a 40-point game the entire way through, and as long as you maintain that 40-point lead, you're going to win. So Chicago, they'll take even time on hills going forward. LA Dweebs is going to have to figure out how they're going to just take a point from Chicago full sail.
Yeah, I mean, they got to work, and they got to start working fast here because you can see right now, LA Dweebs is going to occupy this hill. Probably the most amount of time scored early on here. As you can see, they're going to be fighting for this rotation. Chicago trying to cross to the right side of the map. They're trying to get through closed right now. Try to get over towards that garage. You want to be set up for this next hill, but 4 are going to go down. They're going to be forced to spawn all the way out of Boathouse, and they're going to be all the way across the map. This should be a free 20 seconds or so. So the Dweebs going to pick this all up as the rotation fight is on. You can see one's already going to be here. It's going to be YouTube the Kid that will be going down. And that is going to be 3 in the feed, though, again for LA Dweebs. So Matty Ice, the only one holding this down, is going to secure the spawns. So they're going to get exactly what they wanted here after what could have been absolutely disastrous, honestly. But they are going to secure. There's going to be one inside the hill right now who will end up falling. Kalito and Camden are going to be the next 2 up. Kalito finds one, looking to find the second, who's going to run out of bullets and will have to back off and play the life, but will get taken down. So LA Dweebs hitting 3 from the front here. Are going to be trying to come in the flank, though, from Brendy. Brendy always seems to be on some kind of flank and is going to succeed in stalling this out. Is going to get 1, but YouTube the Kid picks up 2. The shots are through. Actually, that was not YouTube the Kid, excuse me. That is a glitch. But that is going to be players in through the front door. Dweebs are in. So, you know, 30-point lead and closing, and there's still 30 seconds left on this hill, so plenty of time for Chicago to get back in here.
Yeah, definitely a good P1 out of the LA Dweebs. You don't always get those kind of solid P1s. I mean, P1s tend to be very mixy, so good on them. They then are able to break into Chicago. They break in from the front. They don't really send players on flanks, which I've noticed. They were able to break in from the front, though, pretty well. But now you're dealing with Chicago, you know, the Empire striking back here. Chicago will take that scrap time, and, you know, that 25-point lead is now back to a 50-point lead. You see LA Dweebs thinking about the next point, maybe not spotting that Brendy player in that kind of shed area. You also got a top platform to deal with, and there you go. The members of Chicago just reveal themselves, you know, guns a-blazing, and you only have Charisma on the side of LA Dweebs on the point. They go down. Chicago has full control of this point again. 45-point lead. If you're LA Dweebs, you're again breaking from the front. Not a lot of flanks coming through in this matchup on the side of the LA Dweebs. I mean, you had got 30 seconds left. Finally, you might get a flank just by default. Kalito spawns in the back while their teammates in the front captures the point well. So now you've kind of got a messy situation in the back. Yes, Kalito spawned there, but they went straight down. Chicago is there. You might have a head start to point number 4, and you're defending the current point well. But if I'm honest, I would like to see more flanks coming out of the LA Dweebs. They have been pretty good breaking from the front, but I feel like that can only get you so far. We'll see what happens on this P4 as Chicago maybe developing a pinch here, maybe not as number 6 goes down, but Chicago still a very gunny team. We'll have to see how LA Dweebs deals with this.
Yeah, we're going to see as they're trying to get it. I mean, you can see players slowing down as well. Lead Drew is now -2, so you can see after the big lead has had a bit of a rough patch here through the middle of the game, and LA Dweebs chalking up a lot of time here on this hill. I mean, you were talking about like LA Dweebs hitting a lot from the front. Chicago is almost always sending Brendy on some kind of route. So Brendy is always coming in from behind somewhere, somehow, and is usually getting those flanks off. Brendy's going to be the last one on the hill in a 1v1 on the hill and can't find the shots. So Charisma and Kalito are going to stand strong here, and this will actually be enough for LA Dweebs to take the lead once again. They're going to get nearly a full 60 on this hill, and this game might get broken wide open here on the second rotation. It was close, and it was definitely a Chicago lead early on, but now it looks like LA Dweebs has warmed up. They've woken up. They've taken the lead here as we head into our third rotation. It's about as close as you can get right now. I don't think there's any streaks on the board either that we have to worry ourselves about. And LA Dweebs again is chaining this into a first hill as well. So Chicago not really trying to get there, not able to get there and clean these players up off the hill. They're giving up a good amount of time here early on. They're finally going to clear them out, but lose 3 players in the process. It's only going to be Elite Drew left up in a 1v3 on the map. And once again, it's just going to be LA Dweebs picking up time here on the point. And we haven't really seen, you know, Chicago try to fight too much for this since that first rotation. They're focusing a little more on these rotations to try to get to P2. They're finally getting in there, but they don't have these spawns, and that going into P2 is going to be super critical.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicago, I don't want to say is collapsing here, but they're definitely kind of taking a backseat compared to where they were in their first rotation. Just feels like LA Dweebs breaking from the front is doing them well. You know, I look at the KD stat lines across the LA Dweebs. They're not that impressive, but I feel like they're just getting more important kills. And I think that could make the difference. That can make all the difference. For Chicago, you have the mental game of now you're losing. You had a 50-point game and now you're losing. That could be a mental hurdle to overcome. As I say that though, Chicago on this P2 hill, holding strong so far, trying to take the lead again. You'll get the correct kills that you need to come through. If you deal with Charisma, that's going to be a huge kill. Now LA Dweebs is basically all on the 50-yard line. Again, kind of relegated to maybe breaking into front here. It seems like maybe they're kind of switching up their strategy. You see that number 4 in Camden maybe trying to make a a flank. Will Matty Ice spot them out is the question. Time is ticking on the hill, though. You don't have a lot of time left. Chicago, you have taken the lead. You're happy for that. As I say that, Chicago goes 3 down. Maybe they'll get to this P number 3 first, but Chicago, you know, you're not happy that you're now losing this match.
No, I mean, no, definitely not. I mean, they're going to have it for the last second, but a few extra seconds. They're going to catch some of these rotations here. It's all going to be on Camden here on the point. Is going to find one and just absolutely eats a nade. The body literally exploded there, so you can see Chicago knows which direction they got to turn in now. They're going to turn towards the front. I think they might overstretch this a little bit, though. Hella Smooth probably needs to back up because the flank is coming in. This should give LA Dweebs the back spawns, and as I say that, gonna spawn it. They're gonna spawn well anyway, so clearly I know everything. I'm literally staring at the minimap with all the information. I'm still going to get it wrong. But this is going to be the flank coming in, a pincer movement in on towards the point. Chicago's going to get absolutely blown out of the hill here, and they're going to have to back up. It's going to be 229 to 218 and counting here on the scoreline. The shots coming through. Nice opening kill from Elite Drew here, which leaves just Camden on the hill, and it will be secured here for the side of Chicago. So, you know, no team can win on this hill, but it's going to be close going into that next rotation. You can see they're already on their way.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to come down to this P number 4. LA Dweebs, they have a player on it already. 3 seconds left to go, but Chicago, they're already trying to contest it through that middle door area. The reinforcements are coming through that hedges. Now it's going to be an all-out battle of the 5 armies. LA Dweebs will win it so far. Chicago goes 3 down. You have Elite Drew still making some noise. All you have to do is contest and wait for your teammates. That is Elite Drew's job now. The reinforcements come in. There are 4 Chicago hunted players on the point. Make that 1 Chicago hunted player, but 1 is enough. Brendy is soaking up these last seconds of time, but Elite Dweebs has 1 more solid push. 1 goes down, 2 go down. There's 2 players left. A contest is a win at this point. You've got 1 player left, and they will go down. You manage to hold it just enough for another additional set of reinforcements. This point just never ends. I feel like Chicago has had to clear at least 3 or 4 waves of LA Dweebs member, but they hold it just enough where LA Dweebs can't win it here, but they're on P1. Chicago needs to get their asses to that P1 site, but it's just a battle, and LA Dweebs somehow, despite getting cleared out so much on that P4, managed to squeak by on that P1. 4 seconds dividing these teams. Chicago, that's gotta be a sour loss.
Oh, you know they're hurting for sure, especially with how many times they had to clear out those players on this hill. Brendy literally put up like 6 in a row here, basically, as they were trying to just clear things out, and it just still wasn't enough. Something that these teams wanted to run a lot of. Like, a lot of people weren't fans of Rewind to begin with. That's why I did leave the pool. But we're gonna see. But we are underway. Chicago first on the attack here. Dweebs picking that defensive side. And we're going to see how things start off. And early on, you're going to get that early engagement here in closed. It's a very spread out. No one's really, you know, trying to overreach right now. And Hella Smooth looked away at the wrong moment, and that gives Camden an opening, but immediately traded out here. And you can see B is open, so Chicago might take that call and just head their way over there right now. You can see YouTube trying to cover that, but they do look like they're shifting in that direction.
Definitely do look like they're shifting in that direction. I don't know if LA Dweebs is going to read this in time, but they sure do get the read on Matty Ice. Matty Ice goes down. It's a 2v3. You have the last 2 players on that B bomb site. Now planted. Did the kill just come through? Oh, did they beam that from top office window?
They actually, YouTube looks like he just got destroyed there. I didn't see it, and you're going to see it's a 1v2 now. They know where he is. Charisma's going to find 1 on towards Elite Drew and not going to find the second. The nade will actually kill Charisma, but Kalito is still alive to pick this one up. So you do know that's going to be the first round going the way of the Dweebs there, you know, fighting their way back. Pretty good, honestly, off of that first setup, evening it out, and then unfortunately the fight through the open door, not able to go Chicago's way. So Dweebs take round number 1. I mean, that nade, that kind of would have been funny, honestly, if that double killed both players to end the round after he died. They're like, oh yeah, we won the round, and then both players just explode. Would be unfortunate, but didn't actually happen. So Chicago now on defense. We're going to see where Dweebs decide to take this one.
Yeah, Dweebs carrying the momentum from the map 1. Let's see if they could carry that momentum even further. Now on the offensive side, looks like they're eyeing that A bomb site. You have members of Chicago at B. probably giving the intel that nothing's coming through. Maybe that turns into a flank, maybe not, but the bomb carrier goes down. You will get 2 Chicago members in return, though. Make this a 2v3. Pick up that bomb, but Brendy was waiting for it. Brendy gets a kill on the Camden. Now it's a 2v2. You have a little bit of a pinch from Chicago here, but these LA Dweebs members should be able to get this bomb picked up. Maybe should be able to get the plan. Chicago maybe looking for a little bit of wraparound or trying to maybe catch LA Dweebs in rotation here. LA Dweebs looks a little bit lost, maybe not sure what to do. It looks like the Wrap to B will come through. They're going to hear that door open, though. Matty Ice returns the beam onto Charisma that I think killed Elite Drew last round. And now it's a 1v2. The bomb will be planted on that A bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really see, like, I don't think Chicago knew that bomb was down on the player that died you. So that does give, you know, Dweebs the opportunity here. They're going to catch one, but nope. There's going to be the kill coming in. Brandy's going to pick that one up. Make that all 4 in the round, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, my AS got one. I lied. So Brandy did not get all of them. But still, that is kills going the way of Chicago. They're going to defuse the bomb. And there you go. You got tied up. Defensive only wins so far. I wonder if that trend's going to continue. I mean, I know we mentioned last night, I think it was Jake on the cast, who said that the offensive rounds are going to be so critical here. And it looks like we are headed right back to that here. We're going to see who's going to be the first to crack an offense. We'll be on board with Brendy, who's switched over to the AR here for this round. And it looks like it's going to be a B hit. All 4 players headed in that direction. There's only going to be one player. It's going to be YouTube the Kid, who's going to be here to receive this one. We're going to see where it ends up going.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think Chicago threw a nade, got some information, and YouTube maybe scouting them out. But in transition over, Elite Drew goes down. Now Chicago maybe wrapping around to A side, but running right into Colito. Colito moves a little too fast, though. There's still a Chicago member behind them, and Colito does get cut down. 3v3. Looks like that bomb is going to the A side of the map. Charisma trying to spot some members coming through lobby. They will find that back parking lot. Now the bomb may be going to B. You got to tell Hella Smooth. Hella Smooth still scouting out A. But clearly, Chicago trying to adjust on the fly here. They get a kill onto, I think it was YouTube on that B bomb site.
Ooh.
And now it just picks back and forth. Will that bomb get planted? I don't know. Let's find out.
I mean, that was a crazy angle there to be able to snatch that one away. So they're able to find that one there. And we're going to see this bomb has gone down. So Camden, they're coming in from both sides here. That gunfight into garage is going to be so critical. Shots are going to ring through. Matty Ice has to take cover. They're going to chow out. Going to find one. Can't find the second. It's going to be Matty Ice in the 1v2, and he's going to win it. Picks up the player coming out of the garage. And just like that, the clutch up there as Matty Ice goes huge once again and finds both of these here. He's able to close this one out and knows where that player is coming from and beams Charisma there. So a big win out of Chicago. And hey, I said first offensive round, we get it immediately.
Yeah, that's the first offensive win Chicago has shown up to play. Now on the defense again, can they chain 3 in a row? That would be really important for their morale. Let's see what LA Dweebs doing here on the offense. Looks like it's going to be a B hit, but you're going to have to deal with some Chicago members, specifically Matty Ice over there. You can throw a nade, probably get the intel that Matty is there, or maybe he doesn't get hit. I don't know if they know he's there. He might peek around his corner, get killed.
Definitely knows now. Definitely know now. You're going to see him on the retreat, and Hella Smooth is going to spot at least one player. He's going to chow out and is going to win that. On towards Camden here. The bomb is going down. Charisma has to watch over the teammate here. It's going to go down, and we're into the 3v3 post plant, and you have Brendy on the flank. Again, it's always Brendy on the flank, right? Brendy coming in from the back is going to find one, and that means Charisma and YouTube got to turn around. They got to look in different directions here, and it's all going to be on down to Charisma in the 1v3. He's going to have to back away. Matty Ice on a 5 spree as well is something to note here. He's going to try to catch that bomb diffuser, but they're able to bait and switch it out perfectly. And Chicago, there's your momentum, right? 3 in a row right there.
Yeah, that was a tough spot for, I think, Charisma there at the end. Because, like, you're already beat up from a gunfight in that hallway kind of area, but there's, like, 3 Chicago members, and you know if that you give up that bomb, that defuse is coming through. You see Charisma try to reach out, try to get some shots on a bomb carrier, but I mean, that's a tough position. Three Chicago members to deal with. Charisma not able to send that one through. Chicago getting 3 in a row. A second offensive win would be huge here, but LA Dweebs for sure want to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see right here. I mean, Chicago's got to get something going here. I mean, some of it's been just some really unfortunate timings, and Charisma is about to receive the entire team. The gamble stacked over towards B. It did not go their way here. We're going to see if they can stall out long enough. Charisma might be able to do enough, because that is going to be the bomb carrier that's kind of pinned down. You can see the rest of LA Dweebs turning here. So we're going to see the Matty Ice on a 5 streak, a little bit away from that cruise, and Brady's actually going to go down from the window, and Matty Ice falls as well. Streak gone. 2 left, make it 1. It's just hella smooth in a 1v4, and Dweebs finally get a pretty clean round, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a kind of blink and you miss it type of round. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying the most attention, but I did see LA Dweeb just kind of slaying out. And I mean, those are just some of the rounds that you need. I guess for your morale, like whenever I'm down and I have a round where like all my teammates are just like picking the other team apart, like there you go. All of a sudden I feel a lot stronger, and maybe going into this offense, LA Dweebs might have a little bit of a pep in their step. We'll see where they take this bomb. Looks like maybe a B hit again. Seems to be like the battleground of the day, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, these two armies about to meet. Brendy will go down to start. LA Dweebs creeping forward, just trying to get in onto this bomb site. But you've got Chicago members kind of making their way around. And there you go, Matty Ice just slides on, kills YouTube. Kalita will respond. Now it's a 1v3 on the side of Chicago. I mean, LA Dweebs carrying the slaying power from last round, it seems. The bomb will go down, and now it's all up to Hella Smooth to make something happen.
Yeah, coming in all the way from the back. He's going to get spotted, though, and Kalito knows exactly where he is. And unfortunately, that means, yeah, Hella Smooth not really going to have a way into this. Is going to try to go and wrap around, but they're going to be waiting for this as well. You know, they know the angles. And yeah, Kalito's just buried behind there. He's not going to check this. He's going to get shot in the back. And Kalito's up to 4 kills now, actually, after going, I think, killless through the first 4 rounds. So you know that has to do something for the mental. You know, they're like, okay, I've been getting put in the blender, and now we're back. 4 and 3, positive score. Once again, you know that is going to be really good for, you know, just your confidence, really. When you're taking these gunfights, when you're getting blasted in the back, you know, 3 times in a row, you're kind of like, well, this kind of sucks. I don't like it, right? But now, gonna be back. Brenny's at 8 and 4, actually, too. Something to note. That is a lot. You're gonna take a quick look here at the first bloods, and they're almost all going LA Dweebs' way. Camden with 3. That's 5 on the side of Dweebs versus 1 on Chicago, and yet we're tied 3-3 somehow. So, you know, Chicago fighting their way back from deficit quite often, and we have another one because Brendy's gonna go down, and Camden picks up their 4th of the map.
Yeah, another first blood to the side of LA Dweebs. Now the battle is just happening, and there you go. LA Dweebs will win again. Maybe this is just the destiny of how like LA Dweebs plays match, where they kind of start off getting killed, but then slowly but surely they come back and then have a nail-biter ending where they eventually pull it out. But yeah, I think that's now 3 in a row for LA Dweebs as well. What is it, 3-4? And I said Chicago 6-4. My boys, Chicago. You gotta get it going. I can't be wrong in my prediction. 3 in a row. That's all it takes. Chicago will take this map number 2 if they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you see, you never know. We're on streaks of 3 right now. It might be Chicago's turn to wrap 3 in a row here, but it is going to be moving a little bit more towards A. Camden's going to be leading this charge here out into the outer fences. There's going to be nobody really home, though. They're all going to be up top, and that's going to be another first blood to the Dweebs as they're going to pick that one up. Brendy, though, will be there to trade it out. Is going to be playing down below in Hue, and that's actually the bomb. They know that bomb is down there, and this... Oh, all right. Everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone.
They literally just vanished. I was like, Brendy's got the bomb. Everything's good. And Dweebs just got wiped off the map.
I mean, look. That's good. If you're on the side of Chicago and you just kind of got slaughtered, like, not even like slaughtered in terms of losing the round, slaughtered as in like all your team just goes down like 4 in a row for the last few rounds, I think it's good to maybe shoot back a little bit. I guess my question is, and I'm not paying attention, did anybody in LA Dweebs earn a streak in that Slaughterfest? Or are we
No,
streak
they
free?
did not. I
Okay,
think
all
they
right.
made up. They went up to 3-2, and I don't think it got past that. So we are still streakless across this map. You can see nobody here is over towards B. Right off the rip, there is nobody from LA Dweeb's home. That was an unfortunate time there. Camden is going to spot and get immediately picked. So that's going to be the first blood there. They're going to have to position a player to watch for this flank that's coming in from Kalito. But just get that bomb down. They know there's a player in the window. You can see Matty Ice trying to shoulder that one. They spot hella smooth and will go down. So 3v3 here on this retake, and they're coming in from every angle.
Coming in from every angle, including the tight ones. It's just back to back to back to back. But LA Dweebs will come out on top. I think like 3 people just died like literally in the blink of an eye. But good on LA Dweebs, proving my prediction wrong. Now 4-5 LA Dweebs on map point. Based on how the hard point went, you know, a nail biter maybe Chicago pulls out this next round, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that these teams are really freaking evenly matched. Like literally going round for round. You know, if LA Dweebs is able to take this, it's going to be very scary for Chicago, but Chicago 2 in a row, you have a defense, what can you do? You know, I think this is just one of the times where you gotta clutch up. And unfortunately, Chicago, if they don't, there goes the map.
Yeah, we're going to see exactly. I mean, you know, Brendy has been playing you, right? Has been just absolutely destroying them. And it looks like Brendy's actually going to get right through. So they're actually stalled up here. And Kalito and Charisma are going to chime in for 2 kills here, though. And that is going to be a bit of a pause. But Brendy from the back is going to get that flank. And all of a sudden, it's Camden in a 1v2. The bomb is down as well and is going to get shot up. Is going to be really weak. I missed all the action basically on the other side of the map as they know that Camden was retreated all the way to the other side here. But all you got to do is pair up here. Don't get, you know, don't have both your backs facing a different direction. And basically just like that, you don't want to get caught on the open. You need to be tradable here. And he's made it a 1v1. So Camden trying to get out is going to go to the other side of the map. Drew has no idea where he's gone. And that is going to be a bit of a problem here. The bomb is down over towards B. Drew going to be a little bit nervous. Trying to gamble this one is going to gamble wrong. So we're going to see if Camden is going to spot this when he comes to pick up the bomb. But right now, it is just all on Camden right here to make this happen, to send him up 2-0 in the lead. Peek around the corner is not going to spot anything. And Drew, I don't think has any idea the bomb's gone.
Yeah, Drew maybe not having any idea. Camden's been such a good job of just being ghost. Drew will kind of head over here. I don't know if Camden sees him. Drew gets the kill. There you go. I didn't even notice that grenade. That's really good discipline out of Drew to not immediately rush at the bomb. But yeah, we have a round 11. How closer can this series get? Round 11, Chicago versus LA Dweebs. Man, I mean, these rounds have been coming down to 1v1s a lot of the time, and yeah, I'm excited to see how this one goes. Chicago on the offense, so LA Dweebs may be a little bit favored, but I mean Chicago has been they've won a few offenses in their time around the block, so we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, we're gonna see here. I mean, keep your eye on Brendy and Camden, the 2 first blood leaders for these teams at the moment. You're gonna have an opening fight. It's gonna be Camden who's gonna go down. So first blood king in the dirt. It's going to be a 4v3 here on this offense, and this should give them the clearance to push here over towards B. They're going to spot a second YouTube. The kid will go down. Charisma going to have to dive over the edge. It's a 2v3 right now as Kalito will find one and is going to be on the other side of the map. So this should give Chicago a moment to breathe, get this bomb down without any worries. You can see the 2 players left from LA Dweebs trying to get across the map here. They should maybe get a hit mark on that. I did indeed. Does get spotted. Down he goes, though. It's going to be Kalito left in the 1v3, and it doesn't happen. So Chicago, evening up the series. Both our Preds are wrong, man. We both got it
looks
wrong.
like, well, listen, some predictions were more wrong than others.
Correct. Part of them were correct.
Some predictions
right?
were more wrong than others.
You know, first of all, this one's not my fault. I said I was ready, and then they switched, there are teams afterwards, and I did not actually switch it. So you are going to hate me for this because that's 8 red arrows on the map. Everybody is in red. Everyone looks like they're on the same team. And I'm going to be a little bit upset about this for the next few minutes. But as it's going, it's a fully red kill feed because of course it is.
Oh my gosh.
Chicago has held the point. There's only 2 ticks on B. Dude, this is terrible.
Wait,
I'm so upset.
Chicago? I thought LA Dweebs has held the point. Are you sure?
Well, you see, there's 2 sets of LA Dweebs technically on the map right now, but you are going to see the real LA Dweebs on the attack right now, trying to get in towards A, and they're in towards B, so they are going to fully secure B here, and they're going to get ready to go to head in towards A. So, you know, outer one done. The easier point is in the books. That's 3 ticks already on the board. And you can see the kills are going to go their way. They still have a kill lead, a 4 kill lead here to attack A, and that is plenty of lives to work with.
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin on this one. Okay. So it looks like LA Dweebs are on the attacking side, and they are currently capturing A, while Chicago is on the defensive side, and they are currently defending A. I think Chicago is doing a good job of holding the point, but I think LA is not on the point. That's Chicago member on the point, of course. How could I make a mistake like that? Jesus.
There is only pain and misery. I'm sorry.
Okay. LA Dweebs has 4 ticks. They are trying to get out of their spawn. You see that LA Dweebs member go down in that rock area. You see them trying to push through that top lobby area. You see them now maybe spawning around P2, maybe trying to make a push over there. But you have a lot of Chicago members kind of coming to meet them. Matty Ice gets a nice kill. They have backup in Brendy coming up right behind them. Hella smooth also as well on the Chicago side, so it's a little bit of a slaughter fest on that P2 hard point. LA Dweebs not really able to cross that 30-yard line. They're running out of time, and they're running out of lives, quite frankly. 40 seconds left to make something happen. You are still relegated to that rock side of the map, but Chicago, they have really great map presence, and LA has their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's just rough. They've not been able to get in. They were basically spawn trapped as well because Chicago was pushed so far up the map. They were basically all in P2 and in the halls. But you do see they've cleared it all out. Dweebs are going to be back on the point here, and YouTube the Kid is going to start this capture that's 2 dead on the side of Chicago. You can see the flank's going to come in. Elite Drew on the back is going to get absolutely beamed by Charisma, who's going to run out of bullets and not able to find the second one there. Dweebs are out of respawns, or excuse me, Chicago's out of respawns here. It's 5v4, but Camden is on the point. The stack is in, the cap is there, and the Dweebs are going to find it.
The Dweebs are going to find it. They get a really nice offensive win. Okay, yeah, I mean, listen, this is Control, like, an offensive win, especially right out the gate. I mean, that is very good news going for rest of the map. If you get the 2 defenses, you're guaranteed to play at this point unless you win your second offense. You don't even have to bank on a round number 5. So LA Dweebs gotta be feeling definitely confident after that one. Now it's going to be if you can execute on the defense as you're kind of expected to. And if you do that, Chicago might be in a little bit of a rough position here.
Yep, and you're going to see Chicago early on just slam B. They are charging everybody towards it. Charisma is going to be the only one here. Is going to spot that early. Shots come in. No kills, though, to start off. You can see all the arrows on the side of LA are going to turn towards this one. Brendy's going to open up. Now, it's going to be another kill as well, as Brendy's going to find a second. This should bring at least some ticks in here, as you're going to see one come through already. Almost a team kill coming through. It looks so confusing to us. I'm so sorry. But Camden and co are going to secure this for the time being. There's going to be nobody left from Chicago, and they're only going to give up 1 tick. So, you know, Chicago not able to replicate the success of the Dweebs in that first round and pick up 2 ticks off the rip. So this is going to be a little bit more of a slower slugfest here. They do have a life lead, but they do have to get in on hit, and they know it's contested as well. But there's the player gone, and that is going to be now Camden and Charisma working from the back, trying to get in here. But the stack is in, and they are going quick.
Yeah, the stack is in, it's going quick. You got a lot of LA Dweebs members spawning and just immediately running to the point, but it's not going to be quick enough. Chicago will get that B side of the map, and now it's all down to A. What can you do? You see a little bit of a spawn trap trying to happen here. Chicago is trying to set it up. They get YouTube back in their spawn. They get Charisma back in their spawn, but now looks like LA is going to be able to defend this from kind of that top window area, which is going to be a little bit rough to deal with from Chicago. I think you see like Chicago go like 3 or 4 down or something like that. And now A is clear, and this is kind of a similar situation to what we had last time, where it's now the defensive team. If you could get the offensive team back in their spawn, you could get maybe a little bit of spawn trap. You can force them into situations that they quite frankly don't want to be in. And it's going to be all about who wins these 1v1 gunfights. LA Dweebs are looking good so far on the defense.
Yeah, but Kalito's going to be all the way in the back of the spawn, is going to spot all these players going to the other side so they know where they're all going. Somehow Brendy has snuck around. I don't know how, but Camden should be on the receiving end of quite a few of these players here, as they're all going to come in. The stuns are going to fly. Camden's going to try to back up as they're all going to send their way through. Brendy is going to be down below looking for anybody basically here from the opposing team. Doesn't know where these arrows are. There's going to be one directly above him as he finds out, but the rest of the team is going to relay through. But Camden with 2 leaves Brendy kind of all alone back here in a bit of an awkward position, because they're still hunting, they're still looking for him, and the rest of the team needs to get there. The lives all tied up at the moment. There's still 45 seconds on the clock, so still plenty of time to work with here. But, you know, Chicago's got to get in here. They got to get these opening picks, and they got to start something soon.
Yeah, I mean, you see Chicago kind of hooking around that bottom side of the map, I want to say, that P3 area. Maybe trying to get some kills from behind. They will get one on Camden, but you'll trade it out with Hella Smooth. Now YouTube goes down. Maybe you're setting up a little bit of a push here. You got to keep these kills coming, though. But Chicago goes 2 down. Finally, you will get that kill onto Charisma. And at least if you get a foot on the point, you can stop the clock. But it's going to be a battle. LA is all in this wine cellar area. They have all eyes on the point. And at some point, if you're Chicago, you're just kind of doing your little dancey dance. Hella Smooth, being hella smooth on the point, I should say. Brendy combines for some kills. You still have LA Dweebs literally jumping out of windows to stop you, but the kills, they come through, and Chicago gets an offensive win. 2 offensive wins in a row. Whoever is going to be able to get a defense might be able to win this map.
I mean, it's always just going to be the first, right? I mean, we were talking about offensive rounds previously, but the defensive rounds now are going to be kind of critical here. That one came down basically to the wire as well. You did have those players, you know, at the end, I mean, the lives are getting so low in this. It's going to be back and forth all the way. And really, I mean, you're basically fighting almost for the least number of ticks. You want to be on offense basically at the rate we're going right now. You want offense. You don't want that defensive side. So it will come down possibly to kills if it's just 6-6-6 all the way through. But we're all tied up. Best of 3. Off we go. Honestly, Hella Smooth just killed his teammate there with a knife in the back. Kind of would have been awkward. But spawn protection, we love it.
Spawn protection, we love it indeed. You see, okay, LA Dweebs is attacking now. Okay, you see Chicago immediately defending that B point of the map, but still keeping eyes on A. Chicago just trying to maybe hover around this A point, looking for an opening, but it looks like they might be able to get it to, or no. Yeah, 2 LA. God damn it. I'm confused again.
Chicago
okay.
on the right. Chicago's on the right.
Chicago on the right. Chicago on the right. Okay. Chicago is defending. LA Dweebs is attacking. LA Dweebs trying to get some feet on the point. Get at least 1 tick in A. I'm losing full. I'm sorry. You take it.
Watch the watch the other stream feed, because that is the overlay on it. So you can at least see that correctly. It makes it a little bit easier on the eyes for sure. But it is going to be right now. It's going to be all on A right now. They didn't go towards B. They're trying to get this progress on A. And so far, they have 2 ticks right now off the rip. The actual Chicago players trying to get in through the top. They're being kept busy. They're trying to get the shots through here, as Matty Ice is just dealing with everyone every which way. It seems like they're going to have to give this one up, except Brendy is here to lock it down. So they won't give it up just yet. They're going to maintain a life lead. That's a great set of kills there, as every player from the side of LA Dweebs is going to drop, except for YouTube, the kid who's over here on B, finds Matty Ice, is going to get stunned up, and is just going to try to be a nuisance. I say nuisance, is immediately cut down. Brendy is going to be a pain in the ass here, going to be this bottom area in towards mid, trying to get these cutoffs. You're going to see who's going to be around on the map from the side of the Dweebs to try to actually get something going here. So far, it's just going to be YouTube trying to push up, trying to get on there. Brendy's on a 5 killing spree. They're not able to get on towards the point. The time is ticking down. There's no points caps here, no time extended. It doesn't look like anyone's going to get there anywhere close. And that is going to be the round, defensive round win. Chicago takes it.
Yeah, I mean, normally I would say this might not be that much of an issue. LA Dweebs is on defense next, and, you know, teams tend to shine on defense, but that really hasn't been the case in this map. it's really been the offensive wins that I mean these teams seem to be banking on. So if Chicago can chain 3 in a row, there goes the map, and then things become very, very scary for LA Dweebs with again that round or that map number 5 rewind S&D if you're not prepared for it. But LA Dweebs having a chance to keep this map alive here on the defense. You will see both teams pretty much have at it, but it looks like Chicago is going to opt to go to this B side of the map. Maybe meet Kalito here. Maybe Kalito will catch them in the back. There you go. Kalito on the Matty Ice. Camden onto Elite Drew. You see some fights happening in this B side of the map, but it looks like for now, at the very least, Chicago is going to be held at bay.
Yep, they're going to be just held up, and this is going to be LA Dweebs pushed so far forward. Honestly, it's like, you know, kind of, it's like the strategy. Do you want to have offense or defense in that final round right now? Because you know Dweebs only took two ticks in that last round, which means you only need to get 1 point to lock things down. You have Camden just so far pushed up, just picking off these players as they come out of the spawn here. They're trying to hunt him down, trying to figure out where he's gone. They're still not able to find him, and that is putting a big dent in the life lead right now. Hello Smooth is going to find one, is going to hop on here over towards the A point, and is going to start picking up some time here and trying to pick this one up so far. But it's just, you know, right off the rip, it's going to be a lot of kills going the way of Chicago, and, you know, time's already taken down, and they have not got much on the map to show for it.
Yeah, they don't have a lot on the map to show for it. Pouring gunfight over here as YouTube is keeping on the defense for the A side of the map. You do have Matty Ice on B, but that's the only Chicago member alive. You have to wait for your reinforcements, but you see LA Dweebs literally ready to pounce, and Matty Ice will go down. That B point is going to be clear, and now it's like, if you're Chicago hunted, you don't have a lot of options. I think they're going to opt to just kind of go right into this B point, but a lot of LA Dweebs' members were already there. Chicago goes 3 down again. I think 4 down at this point. You have 10 seconds left on the hill. It looks like they're trying to go for A, but they're going to run right into Charisma, who gets a sick 2-piece to defend the point, and there you go. 2 seconds left. Chicago can't get to any of these points. LA Dweebs, they secure the defense. And now, I don't know who's on offense or defense, but I don't think it matters. We've got 2 offensive wins, 1 on each team, 2 defensive wins, 1 on each team. It is truly, and I mean truly, anybody's game here.
This is going to be Chicago on offense as well. LA Dweebs picked up 8 ticks, Chicago with 6. So LA Dweebs will secure their defense here. Then we're going to see what they do with it here. I mean, yeah, we just saw 2 rounds of just rolling over offense, 2 rounds rolling over defense. Kalito also won off this cruise missile, so definitely going to keep an eye out to see if the team enables this, because that would be massive, an absolute massive game changer here in this round number 5. Could change everything, really. We're going to see right off the rip, there's not going to be anyone really in contention for Kalito, so right now it's just going to be all up top, and first blood goes the way of Charisma there. Matty Ice will pick Camden, though. The push is coming through open here. Doesn't even see the shots are ringing out, but Kalito, I think, no, didn't actually earn it. Is on an H streak. Didn't get that cruise yet. Is going to be one off, and is just, you know, trying to shoulder the corner, trying to get, possibly catch one here, and will find that kill, will pick up that cruise, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. That's going to be in the back pocket over the course of this round. You can see right off the rip, Dweebs with a 3-life lead, and there's going to be players here hopping on towards A. I don't know how Brendy wins that one for sure, but the rest of the team coming up off spawn, and they're a long ways away right now.
Yeah, I don't want to be alarmist, but Chicago Hunted is getting a little bit killed in this round. You have this member in Brendy just kind of saying this bottom cellar, waiting for their team, but their team had to respawn, had to come back, and now some of those members had to respawn again. So you're kind of waiting in the cell area, and you wait too long, you die. Chicago 3 down again. All that waiting was for nothing. Chicago is now in a really tough position. You have 20 seconds left to make a push. It looks like they have no choice but to go to this B point of the map. You get a kill on the Kalito there, and now you're gonna have to stack the point and really hope for the best. This hella smooth play here can be so crucial if they could get this last player in Kalito, basically secure that side of the map. But you still have to deal with LA Dweebs coming from behind, YouTube the kid jumping out of the top U window, but there you go. That B point will be secured, and now LA Dweebs maybe not as confident as they were 15 seconds ago.
I mean, the other thing to note there is that that kill on towards Kalito in spawn was so massive because it prevents that Hellstorm from coming down and blowing them out of this hill. right? It's a lot more useful on B than A just because there's so much more open space. And now B is gone. It's only going to be A left on the map. It's going to be tied in lives. There's still a minute to go on the timer as well, so plenty of time to work with out of these teams. So we're going to see where they take this next. Actually, the cruise missile's coming in right now. It gets nothing, so Kalito uses it up. Really, I don't, maybe a little questionable timing in terms of using it right now. As you can see, Hello Smooth is going to hop on the hill, but player in U is going to cut him down. That's going to be Camden. And right now, I mean, you got two players from Chicago coming up off spawn. The other two are just all over the map right now. We're going to see if they can catch them out. Matty Ice finds Charisma, early kill there. Elite Drew going on this flank underneath. Going to see if we can catch one from behind, and we'll do so. And that is going to at least stop the timer for a little bit here. But no, it's going to lose that gunfight to Kalito here. And that means that Hello Smooth is going to be pushed all the way back and is going to have to retreat here. He gets caught out. And Chicago is in, you know, basically dire straits right now with 16 seconds on the clock.
15 seconds on the clock. You have to make something happen here, but Chicago, 2 members go down. And man, it just seems like this entire game, Chicago has been trying to gear up, make a push, but while waiting for their teammates go down. And that's just kind of been the story here, and it looks like that's how the story is going to end. Chicago, they get that B point early on, but they struggle to get anything else. Looking good on their first offense, but those last 2 offenses, really, really rough for Chicago. Props to LA Dweebs on keeping the defensive holds.
Yeah, I mean, they had their signs of life, right? You did have, you know, that big cap on towards B. They had the push in. Dweebs on match point, series point here as we're getting ready to go into their pick of vault. It's going to be map 4, hard point. And right off the rip, Chicago are going to start with a couple sets of beams here. So the early points are going to be going their way. YouTube the kid catches 2, is going to have to fall backwards and is immediately taken out there by Hella Smooth. So, you know, chaos on the map. It's vault. It's a small map. Both teams, you know, probably well practiced on this map at this point, so we're going to see how things go. But right off the rip, it's going to be all Chicago here. Early 15 points and counting. As you can see, the side of Dweebs, honestly, still spawning out on towards P2. So there you can see they're playing for this rotation. And we're going to see now how Chicago can break through because they're already forcing YouTube to spawn out on the other side of the map. So spawn's already lost basically here for LA Dweebs. So you're going to give up all that P1 time. And now you're about to give up basically all the P2 time as well as you're trying to make your way across the map.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of a horrible situation for LA Dweebs to start on their map pick, but definitely not something you can come back from. See LA Dweebs trying to figure out how to get to that P side of the map. And again, in classic LA Dweebs style, we're going to do it from the front. And you see it's not maybe going as well as they would like it to. This is a map where like ARs could just pick a sideline, especially on these P2, P3 areas, and just kind of mow down anyone coming from the front. But as I say that, LA Dweebs gets gifted the spawns they need. Now they have a chance to come from the back as well. You still see some members coming from the front though. They really do not like coming from the back. Finally, they're managing to do so. You have one more member of Chicago on the point, but it's a 75-0 game. This is definitely not the start that LA Dweebs wanted. In Chicago, they are making sure that this hard point does not end up like the first one.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they're probably a little bit upset. That's 1 point on the board for the Dweebs, and it's going to be 84 ripped off in a row for the side of Chicago. So they are definitely getting it, and they've got the rotation to P3. I think they're mad. I'm going to go with they're probably mad. That's a cruise missile already for Hella Smooth. So he's going to have that in the back pocket. Kalito's going to be here on the point. So it is going to be going the way of the Dweebs for a little bit here, but they've lost the P4 side as well. So really, Chicago, as long as you can try to contest this one, as long as you hold these spawns, you're more than happy going into that next rotation. You're looking for that Money Hill P3, or P4, excuse me. And as I say that, they spawned and lost them. So, you know, Elite Drew probably needs to turn around, probably is aware at this point, knows that he's going to have to turn around because there's going to be players here that might get a huge flank here potentially onto these players. He's going to catch one. The rest of them are down below. And this is about to get chaotic here, especially with players spawning on the other side. And Elite Drew is just going at him right now.
Yeah, Elite Drew is just going at him right now.
Look
Chicago
how far they're
just
spawning
going
out.
at him
Look
right
how
now.
far away the Dweebs are.
Yeah, this
They're
is not like
absolute nerdy.
Chicago is playing like somebody on LA Dweebs owes them money. They are pissed off. They all chugged like something before this map because they're just firing on all cylinders. You see LA Dweebs now trying to maybe get a pinch on the point, but Hell Smooth is so good at getting the kills that you might not think they're able to get. You still got to deal with the number 3 in Charisma. I think they spawned back there. So, I mean, Gifted that spawn, not able to collect on it. Now you have Cleto coming in, but I mean, if you're Chicago, you've done a lot on this hill already. LA Dweebs needs to get significant time. They cannot go even on these points going forward. Chicago, I think, already got 30 seconds. So honestly, if they don't get a second more, they're good. But I mean, they're killing LA Dweebs on the point. You still have one player back there. You could deal with it. This kill might be huge if you could get it. YouTube, though, comes in and collects the scrap time. Chicago, definitely not worried at this point. You're still up 75. LA Dweebs, though, I mean, you're on series point. Maybe you can make a miracle happen. Maybe you could bring this game back. But Chicago, I mean, they've got fire in their footsteps right now.
I mean, absolutely. They are firing as much as you can be. As YouTube, the kid's going to find one down below, but they're just going to trade it out back and forth here. And P1, you know, is not a hill that you get a lot of hill time on. It's usually pretty hard to hold this one down. You usually spend it fighting for those P2 spawns, and right now Chicago's not super concerned. Maybe they're like, okay, we only had a 40-point lead in the first map. We lost it. Maybe we need to make it 70. They're currently up 80 points and counting right now as they have flipped out the spawn. So LA Dweebs, you know, they've been playing. They've basically been losing. You're getting the double whammy, right? You're losing the hill time, but you're supposed to sacrifice that to get the rotations, and then they don't get the rotations either. You're just losing all across the map right now, and it is reflected in the scoreboard, in the kill feed right now. All players from Dweebs negative right now, and Chicago Hunted is on a tear. Smooth 20-7 right now, is nearly triple positive at the moment. So he's going to hold down this hill time, is going to grab some of that new time here as the shots come through, but they're going to be in. Dweebs in from the front. The classic Dweebs, basically. Somehow Matty Ice is still alive inside the point. Not for long, will get taken out. But you can see Chicago is coming in to try to sweep this one out. Caught from behind, the spawns will be there, and it means Chicago now is going to have to assault from the front door.
Yeah, it's Chicago's turn to walk through the front door, but they might actually be successful in doing so. You still have LA Dweebs spawning in the back there, but Chicago knows it and they're reading it quite well. 2 members of LA Dweebs go back, and now LA Dweebs is spawning in the middle of the map area. You got that number 6 player in Matty Ice just holding down and anchoring their spawns. So now all attention to the front door again. LA Dweebs, they love to come from the front. It's going to work out this time. You've got 3 members on the point. I don't know if that number 4 player spawned or if they flanked around, but in any case, Chicago gets pushed out the point pretty much completely. Still up 75 though, but now they got to deal with this player in Art and then this player on to the next point. If they just run to the next point, this player in Art might be able to catch them. This number 8 player in Brendy, yeah, is going to get caught out by YouTube the Kid. But, I mean, you're not going to be able to do much with an SMG from that vantage point. So, Chicago will take control of Art. LA Dweebs collecting some time on the point, though.
They did pick YouTube, though, so they did get this. They're going to secure Art control that they wanted here. Shots are going to ring in. They know there's one player here pinned down on the street. That nade is just going to blow him to high hell, basically. There goes the car. There goes Camden with it. And that is going to be, you know, look at the minimap, though. Colito sneaking all the way around the back. I don't think anyone from Chicago is really paying attention to this. Matty Ice is going to leave the top Art position here. Not really sure where he's going here. Maybe, oh, we ran out of ammo. Okay, that's what it was. The problem is you gifted the corner spawn here to the side of the Dweebs, and that is going to be a little bit awkward now because all of Chicago is going to be out on the other side of the map. He kind of, you needed Matty to hold that position, basically. I know he only has a pistol at that point, but at least you just guns Colito there. Just absolutely smokes him through the balcony window. Headed for P4 here, but it's still a 70-point lead. It's been a consistent 70 so far. We've seen LA Dweebs come back from the deficit previously. We're going to see what they can do here. As, you know, Charisma playing a sneak angle there. Absolute rat corner for sure. But we're headed over towards P4. And you're going to have that Cruz coming in, trying to get something through the front door. The Hellstorm parts shot off a little bit too late here. Not going to find that kill, but there's going to be one going the way of each side as YouTube is going to be the next one in, and Chicago is going to blow it wide open except for the one up top.
I mean, is it me or was that like a really weird time to use a Hellstorm? Like on an indoor point?
It was very odd.
I don't...
It is... Yeah. I can't say it's been a series of good Hellstorms, but it did break it open for a minute. They had the opening. Like, it wasn't great, but it did create an opening. They just weren't able to capitalize it, unfortunately. Brady, there's a guy there. There's a guy there. Somehow gets out. Just absolutely 360s him. Okay, you know what? This is why they're in this match and I'm not. But that is going to be 50 points now. Chicago still holding that lead. He won. This is going to be like LA Dweeb's first points basically on this hill.
Yeah, LA Dweebs has done a good job of maintaining composure and maybe coming back to maybe dropping this down to a 50 deficit. That being said, still a 50-point deficit, still nothing to scoff at. But LA Dweebs looking a little bit more alive, at least Chicago. Team kill comes through onto the point. That's going to be very unfortunate as LA Dweebs is able to take over that P1 area. Chicago has P2 spawns. That's good news, but you definitely don't want to let LA come back this much. I don't think Chicago really has been able to collect any points on this hill. So honestly, at this point, if you could just keep them off it, that might be a win. But LA Dweebs is, like I said, coming alive. They're hitting their shots, and Chicago is now spawning on the other side of the map, and that could be trouble. You see that number 7 in the Hella Smooth trying to scout out that player in Camden, but Camden, now the anchor for LA Dweebs. Now, I mean, that was a scary gunfight if Brendy lost it, but Brendy's going to get pinched here regardless. Chicago is now on the back foot here. LA Dweebs is now playing a lot more strategically than I think they even did in map 1, and I think it's paying off for them. They are right back in this game. Chicago is staring down the barrel of another heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, you may be staring down the barrel, but like, yeah, I mean, I was going to say you don't want to put your stock here in P2 because so far in the series, Chicago has not been able to hold this P2. They've been broken multiple times by the Dweebs from the front door. And I know it's like, yeah, it's the front door. They've been slamming the front door, but LA Dweebs eventually makes it through that front door is the problem. They have now taken the lead. They're up by 10. They were down 70 points at one point in this series, in this map. And now we are in a critical state. If you're Chicago, the panic, the mental is going to be tested here. It might be setting in where you're like, oh crap, we had a 70-point lead. We have tossed out the window. We're now down by 20 points. We're going to have to see what this rotation is going to be here. You're going to see number 6. That's going to be Matty Ice. Going to be super critical to the spawns and is going to throw us a little bit into the chaos here as LA trying to push forward here. But that is going to be Matty Ice up top. He's going to spot these players down below. That's a huge gunfight. Absolutely massive to win. The problem, though, is that the Dweebs are the ones back here still. It's going to be one again. They're just lining up, basically, as he's going to find 3 in a row. Camden has just abandoned this pursuit. He's like, okay, I ain't dealing with that smoke, running away here. But right now, Chicago is going to hold on to this for P4 a little bit. There's split spawns coming in. I don't know how LA is spawning out in the back here right now. The Charisma might finally be the one to clean up Matty Ice. And we'll finally... Oh, got a little sketch. Does so. And now, I mean, it's just... The spawns are just... They're flipping literally every spawn.
Yeah, the spawns have been ridiculous. I gotta say, like, Matty Ice did such a good job of holding down that art side of the map. But, you know, meanwhile, like, LA Dweebs is just keeping Chicago off of the P3 hardpoint. So it's like you don't even get to capitalize off of that. LA Dweebs now, it's a battle onto the point, but I think LA Dweebs might have the spawns. Although, okay, no, maybe not. They're spawning out. Chicago, this is your moment. You have to pounce, but the kills are just not coming through. Charisma might be able to defend this well, gets a trade, but you do it just in time for LA Dweebs to now finally get to spawn here. They can win it. If you can snatch 10 seconds off of the point, then maybe Chicago can push this to another set of rotations on that P1, but LA Dweebs is defending it so well, even bringing out the pistol if it needs to. Chicago, 3 members down, 15 seconds left for the LA Dweebs win. Chicago is getting desperate. They have no options. They're just running at the point, and you're going to have to bring all 3 members into the point if you want any hope, but 3 members goes down. Chicago, they have choked this game in a spectacular fashion. LA Dweebs somehow bring it back and win the series. My God.
I mean, it's just, you hate to see it, down 70 points up until about the 189 mark, I think, for Chicago. And then LA turned on the Jets. They turned it around and they took control of this map. The entire 3rd rotation was basically just LA Dweebs putting on a show. They get all that time on